Hi guys, welcome back to Double Your Dutch. This is lesson 5. Who is this and what's that? We're going to be building some of the smallest, simplest sentences. This is part of our online video YouTube course. Lesson 5, be sure to check out the other 4 lessons if you're a total beginner. Okay, so we talked about personal pronouns the other time. We're going to still be talking about pronouns some more, just different ones. All right, let's have a look. We're going to start first with the articles, which we haven't discussed yet. There are 3 articles in Dutch, and we need them also for our demonstrative pronouns. This, that, these, that sort of thing. So Dutch is a bit weird. It has 2 forms of the, which is de and het. And het is the neuter form, and de is the male-female form. So there's not a distinction between male and female, but there is a male-female form and a neuter form. De is the gender form, let's say, and neuter is the non-gender form. De and het. I don't really advise people to kind of really try to remember that stuff. Just expose yourself to Dutch conversations like you would in our course that you can find on wdutch.com, and at some point it will kind of come naturally. And even if you make mistakes, if you can otherwise express yourself, it's not really a big deal. I knew many foreigners who lived here in Holland for years and were fluent in Dutch, perfectly functional, but they would mess up these articles. And you know what? I mean, nobody really cares. So, I mean, don't worry about it. But we have de and het, okay? For a or een, like an evening, een avond, we have een, right? Een. Now you might think this should be pronounced een, but if you say een, then it's actually number 1. Only when you really want to emphasize this number 1, then you say een. You also put the accent on the e twice. Other than that, it's un. That's the pronunciation you use. Now, if we look at the demonstrative pronouns, we're talking about this, which is dit. But dit cannot be used for all words, only for het words. So words that are linked to, that are neuter, linked to the article het, dit. Dit huis, for example. Now, we also have a form of this, which can also mean these, plural, which is deze. So deze is always these. It seems very similar, deze and these. But deze is these as in plural. But deze is also this for words that are linked to the article de. That is dat. Again, very similar, almost the same, just th replaced by d, and also linked to the het words. D is always those, plural, always, for all words, but for that singular, it depends on whether the word is linked to de. Right? So dit and dat are linked to het, and deze and die are linked to de. So depending on which gender the word has, you need to use one or the other. But I wouldn't say, oh, memorize this stuff, memorize all these words. Look, with enough exposure to the language, native speakers never think about this stuff. You just say it naturally without even thinking about it, and you do it correctly. So that's what you should be going for. With enough exposure, you develop a feel for the language, and you'll start to do it right at some point. Up until that time, if you want, yes, you can learn every word. If you create word lists, if that's your thing, learn it with the article, right? That will help you. You can do that. I don't do it, but you could if you want. Okay. One common expression I wanted to add here is zo'n, which is really zo'n, but usually it's written Z-O''N, and it's one of those. Zo'n. Yeah, one of those. It's quite common. So, as a fixed expression, zo'n, one of those is useful to know. Okay, so if we're going to ask some questions, we need to look at the pronouns necessary for questions. So one is wie, which is who, wie. And whose is van wie, right? Possessive, van in front. What is wat. What, okay. You can also ask what kind of, which is wat voor. For is usually before, but depending on, like, in connection to other words, it can kind of change meaning. So wat voor, it means what kind or what kind of, wat voor, yeah? So if we know these question words and we know the this and that words, we can try to build some sentences. So you can say, wie is dit? Wie is dit? So is the same. It's is in Dutch, and in English it's exactly the same. So wie is dit is who is this? Right? Then you say, this is Mark. You might normally say, dit is Mark. But since I wanted to show off the passive form of him, I turned it into dit is him, which is a bit of a strange sentence, but you get the point. Dit is him. This is him. Right? You can ask, wat is dat? What is that? Obviously, right? And you might say, dat is een boek. Dat is een boek. Boek, right? O-E, pronounced oo. Boek is, of course, book, right? Pretty straightforward, yeah. You might ask, wie is dat meisje? Wie is dat meisje? Which means, who is that girl? Meisje is a girl. Je in the end always means basically little. So meisje means who is this little girl, but girl already implies that it's, not a woman. So who is that girl is fine. Dat is haar vriendin. So that is her friend. And in Dutch, in these cases, friend is vriend, and vriendin is girlfriend, really, or female friend. Vriendin, yeah. Haar, possessive, right? Obviously. So, so dat. So we had dat is een boek. Dat is haar vriendin. Dat meisje. If we look at dat boek and dat meisje, we just saw them in the last two examples, right? It's both het boek and het meisje. So that's why it's dat boek and dat meisje. Then you could ask, wat voor een is dat? Wat voor een is dat? What kind of one, really? What kind of one is that? So what kind of thing is that? But you don't say thing, you just say een, so one. Wat voor een is dat? What for thing is that? What kind of thing is that? Dat is zo'n ding. That's one of those things. That's one of those things. Dat is zo'n ding. Ding is thing. But you don't need the plural here. Just, dat is zo'n ding. Okay. You might ask, wie is onze vader? Wie is our father? Vader. Remember Darth Vader? Right? Spoiler alert, Star Wars. Vader is Dutch for father. Actually, people in America think it's German for father, but it's just not true. Because in German it's Vater. But Vader, spelled like this, is Dutch. So wie is onze vader? Who is our father? Hij is onze vader, so he is our father. Right? You could ask possessively, van wie is deze bal? Whose ball is this, really? Whose ball is this? It's de bal, so it's deze bal, right? And also deze is near, right? Like this, deze. So the boy might reply, die bal is van mij. So he's further away from the ball, so he says, that ball, die bal, is van mij. Is van mij, is mine. You might ask, wie zijn die mensen? Who are those people? And you might reply, zij zijn de buren. They are the neighbors. buren, right? En at the end, en at the end indicates either plural or verb or a full verb infinitive. So in this case, it's plural. Zij zijn de buren. They are the neighbors. You could also ask, is dat ding van hem? Is that thing his? Is dat ding van hem? Possessive. And you might answer, nee, hij is van hen. Hen with the N for November. Nee means no. Hij is van hen. It is theirs. Right? Another example, is dat zijn vriendin? Is that his girlfriend or female friend? Is that his girlfriend? No. And you might say, nee, zij is van mij. No, she is mine. That seems a little bit possessive in a bad way. But yes, it's a possessive form that we're using here. She is mine. Okay? So you might ask, is dit jouw boek? Is this your book? Possessive. You know, you add the W to the U, possessive. And you might say, ja, deze zijn van mij. And deze implies, in this case, because it's het boek, it must always be dit. So deze only applies to the plural. So if you get this as an answer, she's indicating that all of these books are mine. Ja, yes. Ja is yes. Deze zijn van mij. These are mine. Is this your book? Yes, these are mine. All of these, you might say. You might add that. Anyway. And last example we've got here is deze van haar? Is this, or is this one, hers? And you might say, die zijn toch van jou? Which is really a rhetorical question saying, those are yours, right? Die zijn van jou means they are yours. And toch is kind of a rhetorical tool that means like you know or right, that people often use. Die zijn toch van jou? You can use toch in the middle of the sentence or at the end. Die zijn van jou, toch? That also works. But it just means like, isn't it, or right, or something like that. Okay, so this is how easy it is to build these short little sentences. Next lesson, lesson 6, we're actually going to fully conjugate some verbs. We'll start with the verb to be and to have, the two most popular and common verbs of the language. We'll do that next lesson. More lessons coming up. As always, please like and share. Subscribe to the channel. Comment, tell me what you think. And yes, go to www.doubleyourdutch.com if you want the free lessons, the conversations, native speaker dialogues in your inbox. Just sign up with your email and check out the site. Okay? See you soon. Thanks for listening.